Hey Brian, how you doing tonight? Figured get on here and do a live tonight. It's been a couple nights since I've done one. How's everybody been doing this week so far? Anybody been catching anything on the lines? I'm doing good. Made some lures today. I've been doing lives on TikTok the last couple nights. I just got off doing a live on TikTok for about 3 hours. There's a couple of trappers that went live and they invited me to join their little live session, so got on there and went live with them and talked to them and answered some questions and told some stories. It's going good. How you doing, Joshua? Just hopped on here to see how many people want to get on tonight and just kind of talk. I ain't got a whole lot going on tonight. So I made some, I was making some lures earlier today. I'm gonna make some more tomorrow. Hey, Donnie. How you doing tonight? It's good, Joshua. Has anybody got any traps in the ground still? I know the weather's been warming up here. Still shoveling snow? No, we got just a little bit on the ground. It's spotty now. Super, super, super muddy though. Putting up otter and beaver. Sounds like fun. Yeah, I don't really trap beaver yet. The only place I know around here to go trap beavers, a little bit of a drive, and I don't know if I want to go that far every day. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting ready, getting my traps pre-prepped for next year, so they don't get real rusty this year. What's up, Otter Cat? How you doing tonight? Gonna be setting beaver traps in a few days when creeks go down. Good. Hope you catch a bunch of them. Brian, you've pulled all your traps. Yeah, I wish I still had some traps out. It was nice to have a couple day break, but I kind of want to get back out there again. Arctic Cat, you still got cat sets out going after mink this weekend. Sweet. Hope you catch a bunch of them. How many cats have you caught this year? I gotta get my bobcat tag so I can send it off to get tan. Herb, you still got 20 or so snares out. Good. You been catching very many coyotes on them snares? Said I've been doing lives on TikTok the last couple nights. Wasn't really expecting to. There's a couple trappers that were doing a big group live, and I got invited to join and kind of talk with them. And I did that for about an hour and a half, 2 hours last night, and then got into another one tonight and talked, I don't know, probably 3 hours. You got three of them. Three's better than none. Autocat, you caught cat number 11 today. That's awesome. What are your cats worth in your area? Is it? So if you guys enjoy my lives, you can go over to TikTok. I guess they told me tonight that they're going to start doing more lives throughout the week, doing a lot more frequent, and invited me to do some more of them. So probably doing more lives on there, and they're a lot different than this YouTube. You can have 3 or 4 people in one live talking. So instead of like it just being me, there'll be 3 or 4 of us talking, kind of having a big discussion on topics and telling stories and giving each other a hard time and whatnot. Hey Bruce, how you doing tonight? You're in Tennessee, so not much. Yeah, I haven't heard a lot about cats, but I know a lot of people are getting, for a green cat, probably about $40. Some less. Depends on how many spots they have on them or whatnot. Bruce, you're in Tennessee. So Donnie, Bruce, and Ottercat, you're all in Tennessee. Brian, you're not allowed to have TikTok. TikTok is not the greatest of apps. There's definitely some things on there that people shouldn't see. And it's not really. In TikTok, you kind of get to choose what you see, but they recommend a bunch of weird stuff. Hey, Rob's Outdoors. It's going good. How you doing? Say the lives on TikTok, they're kind of more like a what would you call it?
What?
Hmm?
What?
A podcast. That's the word I was trying to think of. Hmm. Bruce, I haven't done a how-to on bucket sets because here in Missouri we're not allowed to use 220s, and normally that's what you'd use in a bucket set is 220. And here in Missouri we can't use those on land, so I don't trap that way. I'd like to be able to, but we can't. The biggest body grip I can use here in Missouri is the 155, and it's not really big enough to catch much. It is, but I mean, they got to be set perfectly. I might try running some someday for some skunk, but other than that, they're a little too small to be trying to catch raccoons in. You gotta go flip a cat and be back in a minute. Alright, you have 2 of them out. Yeah, bucket sets are great sets and they work pretty well. I know lots of people that have done well in them. Said my trapping season's over. I wish it was still going because I really wish I was out catching some more coyotes. You've caught bobcat and otter and bucket sets, yeah. I know lots of people catch a lot of things bucket sets. So I wish we could use them here. I know you can in Iowa and Nebraska, but yeah, Brian, it's definitely a good deal on those kits. I'd say me and Trapper Jay talked about them for a little bit, quite a bit actually. We've been talking about them for a while. We were talking about making a kit a couple months ago, and we kind of talked about what we want in it. And then here a couple weeks ago, there was a couple people in one of his live videos talking about it. So we put one together, and we're probably gonna come out with a Trapper J Predator Kit Deluxe here in the next little bit. What are you using for bait in your bucket sets? Feel me there, Blakely? Yeah. Say it's getting on Facebook and stuff, still seeing people catching coyotes, and it's like, man, I wish I was still out there catching coyotes. But yeah, the Trapper J, we have the Predator kits now on the website, and we also have a raccoon kit. Both of them come with a dozen traps. So for any kind of kit you buy, there's not very many of them that offer a dozen traps. Most of them are like 4 to 6 traps. So yeah, I know coyotes get to rubbing, but around here there's so many of them, most people just want them off their places. Yeah. And Brian, the deluxe is going to be more of like a starter kit. It's going to have the same stuff, but it's also going to have a lot more stuff that's going to be more of like a starter kit. Brown bobcat, rabbit fur, Trapper Jay's long call. So, I don't know. I mean, them bucket sets are different. If you're going strictly for like a bobcat, you might have to like brush it in a little bit. Yeah, but the Trapper J Deluxe, I'm not sure. I haven't really sat down. We haven't decided what all we're going to put in it, so I don't really know how much it's going to be yet. But it'll probably be about $100 more, so it'll be closer to the $300 mark. But it'll be a starter kit, so it'll have everything: hammer, sifter, all kinds of stuff. A bucket set, it's like take a body grip, and you'll have two notches. You'll take a bucket and you'll cut a notch on each side of it, so the springs of your body grip will fit in those notches, and then your body grip covers the area of the bucket, and you put your bait and whatever in the back of the bucket, and you kind of use it as your funnel, I guess you could say. A lot of people use them for raccoons and skunk. And you can catch some bobcats. Yeah, it's basically a mink box. You just use a bucket instead of making a box. Yeah, so I know a lot of coming about calving season. There's a whole bunch of coyotes waiting for them calves. They like to get that the afterbirth and all that stuff. But yeah, they're talking about I think they're voting on it next month, but they're talking about extending the Missouri trapping season. I hope they do. It'll go to the end of February and possibly the middle of March for bobcats, raccoons, all that stuff. Also, if anybody's interested, I'm running a 15% off coupon on my baits and lures on the website. BT Supplies 15. Yeah, it'd be nice if they did. Because, like I said, the last week and a half of season when I started catching all my coyotes, I wish I could have went another at least 2 weeks with the way it was going. I mean, the last week and a half I caught 10 coyotes and 2 fox. So the majority of my season was the last week and a half, besides raccoons. Hey Scab, how you doing? Still catching otters? Did you get my beaver lure in yet? I think it should have probably been there today. Maybe yesterday. Scab's too busy catching trap thieves. He's already caught them. It's just a matter of if they're going to do anything about it or not. Yeah. Empty pipe dream sets on the farm. Trapping sets on a random few of them. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that'll go out where they're going to put their sets in about a month before season. They'll dig like their dart holes and stuff to get them used to it. Any easier ways of fleshing than with a fleshing board and a fleshing knife? Not really. I mean, there's some people that use a power washer, but I think there's a whole lot more room for error doing that. No orders, shipment is delayed. Was supposed to come in today, but it's government workers. Yeah, I've had a few shipments here the last little while, been delayed to people. Had one going to Trapper J. He told me he needed something. I said I could have it there by Wednesday, and they didn't get to him till Friday. Drill and wire brush fleshing, yeah, you can do that too, but again, I feel like that's something to definitely take a lot of practice before you get good at it without messing anything up. If you guys look up Last Step Tanning on YouTube, he has a lot of videos on there about tanning and fleshing and working fur and stuff like that. Yeah, snares. Yeah, I felt bad about that. Like, I really did. But, I don't know. It's one of those things you can't guarantee. I told him, I said, this one's on me. Usually stuff don't take but 2 to 3 days tops. They don't take 5. You raise rabbits for meat so they make good practice? Yes, they do. Yeah, there's flushing machines. Yeah, I say there's lots of different ways, but to me, they all take a lot of practice. Like, there's a lot of people. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, people using power washers, and that's one of those things that definitely takes some practice so you don't destroy your fur. Hey, Seymour, how you doing? Yeah, Scab, I actually made some more of my beaver lure today. Just got done throwing darts. Did you do any good? No. I don't even have any traps or anything to go for beaver. I've never had anywhere to, so. Hopefully next year I can get me a spot. Um, so I'm not looking to be a big beaver trapper, but I'd be excited to catch 1 or 2 of them. Even if I could find a pond that had a couple beaver, I'd be happy with. You won 2 out of 4, that's pretty good. That's 50%. Just like skinning animals. Some people use an air hose to skin their animal. Uh, Again, to me, it seems like that's a way to really mess up your hide, your fur. Yeah, we have a creek that's almost like a river here that's got beaver in it, but it's one of those things, I've never trapped it, and I don't know if there's other people that trap it, and I don't want to get in their areas. Yeah, a lot of people eat beaver. A lot of people cut like the hams and the loin, and they'll throw it in a crock pot and make a stew or barbecue sandwiches with it. Some people even eat beaver tail. I ain't tried beaver yet, but I will someday. You said 4 traps would do good for an amateur? Yeah. So I was kind of hoping that I could find somebody that had like a pond or something here, kind of local uh, that had some beaver. Because I'd really like to just go catch a couple. I watched a video on air skinning. The person said it didn't have any advantages. Yeah, I don't know. I watched a couple videos on it, but it just didn't seem like anything I'd want to try. I got another bobcat yesterday, but been feeling bad, so you haven't filmed much. Beaver tail leather's beautiful. Yeah, a lot of people will make wallets out of the tail. Hey, Chad. Uh, You Chad from here, Anderson? Anderson slash Pineville, I guess. Scab is the you feel bad. Is that kind of like the depression from the guy stealing your trap? I'm just kidding. You need to get some newer traps. You have some old ones, but I had to put new and bigger chains on them. Yeah, any see TS-85s. That's what I want to get to trap a couple. You have two of them. You catch 15 to 20 a year. Yeah, I don't mean to have a whole bunch of traps out. I just having a spot to put them is kind of my issue. Daughter, you tested negative. That's how it was. When we moved into a house here, we bought this place for my mom and dad, and we lived here with them for a little bit before their house was finished being built. And everybody in the house tested positive, but me. And I was sicker than all of them. For about 4 or 5 days, I was really sick, and yeah, I tested negative. It's kind of strange. You got your first catch with the Duke 650, and it was your first bobcat we trap. 27 pounds. That's awesome, man. That's a really good cat. 27-pound cat's really a cat. You caught a bobcat mid-January, but had the COVID, so it felt good enough to reset. Yeah, a lot of times when you catch something, you'll have something there that night. Yeah, that's a really nice cat. Say my cat was, if I remember right, it was 18 pounds. And that was a good cat for me. Those tests aren't reliable. No, but that's what they, I guess, judge you on, I should say. Still have all the trap set just powering through. Scab, do you have to do a lot of walking to check your traps? Since it's on public land? Bruce, you've gotten 4 cat this season? Yeah. I only caught one. I only caught one this year, but it was a good cat. I'm going to get it tanned, and I'm going to keep it. It's a pretty cat, too. With cancer, sick wife, and cold, you didn't trap much this year. Hope next year will be better. Man, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I hope next season's a lot better for you. That didn't seem like a very, very much fun at all. The last part of your line is about 1.5, 2 miles. You have to walk. Yeah, I'm glad I ain't got to walk that much. Most of my walking is I'll just park and then go walk around for an hour or two, finding locations that I want to put sets in, looking for signs and stuff like that. Kevin, you're trapping private property. You're a triple amputee, and you drive the side by side while Dad sets traps. You posted on Trapper J's page. Alright, I'll have to look that up. How long ago did you post it on there? The worst is walking halfway out, seeing you have a catch, and then having to walk back to get my tools. You need to get you a wagon so you can pull your tools in the wagon. Earlier today, alright, I'll get on there and look for it. You have to walk 1 to 2 miles for all your traps. And that sucks. Definitely a whole nother ball game having to walk all that. Really suck if you walked all that and had 3 or 4 catches. Walk 2 miles in and catch 4 coyotes. Either a wagon or a sled, you know. Used the wagon last year. There was more trouble than it was worth. Boy, you bought a sled, but it gets heavy. Yeah. I don't know, so it's not something I've had to do yet. Luckily, I trap all private land and I can just drive my truck. Well, I say my truck this year. I didn't drive my truck a whole lot because it didn't run. If you have more than one catch, you'll drive around the gate. You'll pay the fine if you get caught. How much would a fine for that be? You only have 12 traps. Most you can drive to unless it's raining. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin, it's a learning progress, learning thing. You'll learn more every year, and your catch rate will go up every year as you learn more. Every animal's different. Sleds are better than wagons, but are more useful for other things like package stands. Yeah. Get you a bicycle with one of those carts trailers to pull behind it. You let the cat go too long, like you've never got the legs turned. That's not good. Huh?
That's what I'm about to do this for the night. My allergies are killing me, so I sit like this, it just runs.
Yeah. Scab, when did they, you said that package is delayed, but does it say when they're expecting it to be delivered now? Sad thing is, it's probably like 2 towns from you. Had that problem the other day as a cat, only it was the face. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I've done that a couple times, Bruce. I got a couple videos to show proof. I still got a mark on my hand right there from the last one. Actually, technically, the last one was right here. You can see that line right through there? That was the last one. Got a little double long spring that doesn't have a pan that I bought my daughter to play with at the conventions. She was wanting to play with my traps, so I bought her one of those that she could drag around and play with. Well, I just was setting it the other day, playing with it, and yeah, I let loose of one of the springs and it clamped down on my hand right there, and yeah, that felt pretty good. Started last year and have 4 coyotes, 6 possum, 2 skunk, and a bird. Yeah, Seymour said every year it'll get a little better. You never know what it's going to be. Trapping is definitely a learning game. No due date, the last tracking is really on the 6th. What is today? I don't know how it could have been the 6th, because the 6th would have been Sunday, right? Because I shipped it out on like the 3rd or the 4th. Trying the deer school set, like in my videos, only been on. Yeah, like I said, I ran that set a couple times and I had it, I think I had 4 altogether and 2 of them caught. And one of them I caught 3 or 4 coyotes in that set with it. You know, it's something that draws them in, I guess you could say. Lost your fingernail? Yeah, that happens. Luckily, I haven't lost a fingernail yet. How did you get a bird? Brian, a lot of times you get birds from having exposed bait, like carcass, or if you have like a flagging for like a bobcat set. I've caught birds. Got a crow and a dentry set. That's what the tracker says, yeah. I don't know, sometimes the tracking can just be stupid. Yeah, I caught a hawk once, and when I pulled up, there was 2 hawks that were eating that hawk, which I thought was weird. But yeah, usually when you have anything exposed that they can see, the birds will come see what it is. Last year you got 2 buzzards. This year you got 3 herons. Yeah. So it's one of those things you're always gonna catch. It's just like catching rabbits or squirrels or something like that. You're always gonna have the things that you're not targeting at all that you're gonna catch, or the neighbor's dog. You know, you're always gonna have accidental catches. There's absolutely no way around it. There's no way to prevent it. I mean, the only way to prevent catching anything like that is to not trap. But your bait was inside an 18-inch tree. And did you have any kind of flagging? Like a feather or CD or something like that? Because a lot of times the birds will see that and they'll want to come check it out, and they'll just land on the ground and boom. Nope. Otter cat. Yeah. Luckily, I haven't got myself with body grip ever. But I don't trap with them. I've set a few just to, set them, whatever. But luckily, I've never caught myself with one. Beaver push mud on a heroin and it froze. So, Bruce, you never know. I mean, I've caught crows on my dirt holes before. I don't know. Going for breakaways on your snares, you have 10 to 12 deer. Yeah. Like I said, there's no way to prevent accidental catches, everybody catches deer. I promise you, everybody catches deer. They can pull out real easy out of a foothold. Uh, Dogs. This year I caught, I don't know how many dogs, like domestic dogs. Uh, Squirrels, rabbits, stuff like that. Especially get into like your dog proof, you'll be catching mice, chipmunks against the. You're always gonna have accidental catches. Yeah, the Duke 330 decided to bite you, but still had one safety on. Well, I guess that's one upside to it. Yeah, I know a lot of people that's got pigs. You've only got one domestic dog. That's good, man. They're a pain sometimes. To get them calmed down and get them out of the trap, sometimes it takes a little bit. You've always wanted to hog hunt? Yeah. See, where I'm at, we don't really have any hogs. You can go about 45 minutes away and there's hogs. Not many of them, but some. But right here where I'm at, I mean, there's not any hogs. Me and my brother got one, a pretty good sized one on a trail camera a couple years ago. Carry a catch pole. Yeah. Sometimes even with a catch pole, it can be fishy at times. Had a deer step into Duke number 4 last week, pulled the whole set out and left it on the crossover. Yeah. See, I mean, people catch a deer all the time. You're going hog killing tomorrow? Have fun. Scab had a dog, we didn't have to get it out. I am in southwest Missouri, right on the Arkansas line. Yeah, Scab, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, the owner let his own dog out of the trap, but then he took the trap. Is there a lot of hogs in Tennessee? Your count would be 6 domestics this year. That's crazy. So I take it there's a lot of people walking around where you trap. Yeah, uh, I caught 4 domestic dogs this year and 2 cats in central Kansas, and we'll be in Kansas City this weekend. Yeah, Kansas City is about 3.5 hours from me. Yeah, when you're out in East Tennessee, there's no hogs yet, but about 2 hours away. And I say I can go about 30, 45 minutes away, and there's a few hogs, but right here there ain't any. Even about 25 minutes away, I know a place that there's been some hog shot. That was loud.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. He's hunted hogs and bears with dogs for 40 years. Got several hogs. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm glad we don't have hogs because we don't have to worry about them, you know, tearing land and stuff up. But then again, I wish we did have hogs so I could go hunt them. So if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to ask. You have hogs just a short walk away, but they're domestic. I don't think the owner would be very happy with that one. There was a cat roundup in your area about 5 years ago. Cats were causing problems at the rich folks bird feeders. That's crazy. Hey, Adventures with James, how you doing tonight? I ain't got a whole lot going on. We're just kind of on here chatting a little bit. I did a 3-hour live on TikTok earlier with a couple of trappers. Got to have a little discussion on there and whatnot. Say the lives on there, there can be 3 or 4 people on there talking at a time, so they're kind of like a podcast almost. I don't know, kind of like a.
To me, it's kind of like a podcast because everybody you got
four people talking about the. Well, it's kind of like a podcast. You got three or four people on there talking about whatever. Just working. You working right now? My TikTok is Blakely Trapping Supplies. It's the same as here, just there's no S after Blakely's. That S was one letter too many. I had to take a letter out, and I figured that'd be the letter I'd take out. They're your dad's, but he won't be happy to. Yeah, you probably catch a whole lot more flock from your dad than you would your neighbor. They might just want their money back. I don't think your dad would ever let that one go. How does my package deal work? You mean like the monthly box? You're on break? Well, thank you for spending your break on my live, I guess. Uh, you're, you're running up the river and there's up a tree. Oh, porcupine. So did you shoot the porcupine? Appreciate it, Scab. But Seymour, are you talking about my monthly subscription box? Is that the package you're talking about? Or are you talking about the new Trapper J trapping kit? You did shoot it? Sweet. Can you sell the quills off of it? Herb, I wish. I haven't got to start carrying the No BS brand yet. I'm hoping soon. As soon as I'm able to grow a little bit more, we're going to. I definitely want to start carrying them. I know a lot of people use them, and um, Kendall's a really good guy. I've got to meet him a couple times. So I definitely want to start carrying them. Just a matter of when. Whenever we get big enough to, we can do that. The hair's worth a fair amount. Yeah. Seymour, both. Um, when I start carrying them, email you. You want more? All right, I will. I have a place that I can get no BS traps at now. I just have to go pick them up, and it's about a 4-hour drive. So it's one of those things. If I did like a pre-order on them, I could probably get them for people, but I don't have the let's say collateral or whatever to go get them. But Seymour, so we just started the Trapper J Predator kit, and we also have a raccoon kit. I just posted what would have been. I think I did it Sunday, maybe Saturday. Uh, but basically, both of them come with a dozen traps, and then they come with a few other items that me and Trapper J picked out. So They're pretty good price on both of them on the website. And then the monthly subscription box, it is $60 a month. The shipping is $12.99. If you sign up for the 12-month subscription plan, the shipping is $9.99. And every month is different, but it will always contain at least one, two, sometimes three traps. Some different items. Every month is different. Might be tools, might be baits and lures, might be both. I don't know. Hey, Internet Veteran, how you doing tonight? So what's the fresh attractant that I was talking to you about? Okay. It's it's kind of like a cover spray, cover scent spray for your baits and stuff to kind of help get the what oils or human odor or whatever will be on your baits, but it's also like a scent attractant for fish. Um, it's got a garlic base to it with a few other things to it. It's like a sweeter smelling garlic. After looking into the meanest and toughest dogless traps, no BS takes the one for me. Yeah, the new alpha traps are really nice too, but they're expensive. They're $280 for a dozen. So, you're still talking $40-$50 more a dozen than the no BS. So, I think the biggest problem with the alpha is just the price, but again, you're talking about cast jaws and stuff, so I haven't got to try the no BS yet, but I definitely want to. Hopefully, I can pick up a few to use next year. Yeah, Brian, almost every month I have two traps in them. But sometimes if I have a more expensive trap, there'll probably only be one trap in it. So if the one trap, is a $35 trap, that's probably the only one that'll be in the box. But most of the time I have two and sometimes three traps in them. 1/8 inch, 7x7 extensions. What kind of extensions? Like for your snares? Hey, Trap in Louisiana, how you doing tonight? Yeah, Adventures with James, I'll have it sent out tomorrow. It's a 2.5 ounce bottle. So I got, I don't even remember. I think 3 people that are going to try it out for me. One of them's a local guy that he used to come shop at my outdoor store. He used to come buy some fishing stuff from me and whatnot, and I still talk to him quite often. And I asked him if he would want to try it. And so I'm going to get him some tomorrow too. Yeah, Internet Veteran always starts the party, doesn't he? You have no BS. Would you like to try the alpha? Tell you what, I was super, super impressed with the alpha. Said I caught 4 coyotes, 2 coon, 2 possum in it. And I didn't have to adjust anything. Nothing was bent. Still set fine. The pan still set level. Pan tension was still good. So I was super impressed with it. Like I said, I mean, if they weren't so expensive, there's a possibility I would switch to mostly those just because they are super good traps, and I was really impressed with them. But I mean, I can get really good traps for almost $100 less a dozen. So, hey PA, how you doing? Yeah, I think I did a live here on YouTube Sunday night, didn't I? I think it was Sunday night. Uh, the last 2 nights I've been doing lives on TikTok. Uh, was looking at a video last night, and a live popped up of one of the trappers that I follow was doing a live. So I got on it, and he seen my name, and he invited me to join their live. So I got on the live and ended up talking and chatting with him for last night was about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I got on another live with some of the same guys tonight and ended up doing one a little over 3 hours. The lives over there are really more like podcast, I'd say, because there's actually 3 or 4 people on the screen talking about the subjects, giving advice, whatever, telling stories. So they're really cool over there. Trapline is day to day, couldn't even catch a possum. Some days you'll have that. How long are the Wolfang anchors? I mean, I just went blank. I want to say about 16 inches. Be right back. Alright. You have any trap setters that fit the alpha? I know a young trapper that still is a bit hesitant doing it himself. If you buy the Bridger setters, they will work because they are pretty universal setters. We won't talk about that tonight. We'll talk about what? Yeah, scab, it happens. There's many days. I had like 4 or 5 days in a row where I didn't have anything. You set one trap to poke at Iowa. Nothing would come closer than 5 feet from your sets. See, a lot of times the weather will play a lot into that. Listen to Scab. Appreciate it. Supposed to get more freezing rain next few days. Thinking of taking some shingles out and covering my sets. Tired of making them every weekend. You talking about your sets? The traps are going off from the freestall. Is that what you're talking about? The clearance gap between the springs and the pan. Yeah. And like I said, I've never used the No BS yet, so I don't know. I definitely want to get a couple and try them this year. Or, yeah, I guess this year. Next season this year. Where's Malvern, Arkansas? $17 only. What did you say? Malvern, Arkansas. Malvern? Malvern, Malvern. Did not say Pennsylvania. I said Arkansas. A few leftover packs of shingles. You don't know if they'd leave scent on my sets or not, but I done making them 4 days ago. Don't really want to do it again. So south of Hot Springs. Okay, how many hours? 4.5. Good Lord. Mark just asked me if I wanted to go to a sale this weekend. Mark Carnan, the guy that was at the Oklahoma convention, the beaver trapper, the one that gave Kinsey the foxtail and the coyote tail that I bought the traps from, that was right in front of Cletus. Oh. We talked to him more than we talked to anybody. Oklahoma? Yeah, in Oklahoma. There was that big circle booth in the middle, and he sat all the way at the end. Next to Turtle Man? Yeah. And he had all the old traps on the table. Yeah, that was Mark. He asked me if I was going to a sale there this weekend. No. Try making a strand wrap bag out of your traps and then should give them. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people do that. We'll use like a sandwich bag or something to put the trap in. have TikTok the way Facebook is lately. I might try. Yeah, if I didn't do so much of my business on Facebook, I wouldn't be on Facebook anymore. To me, Facebook is hard, but until I get my name out, because, I'm still a really small company, real small guy. Uh, I'm still really new, I've only been doing it for a year. You love the alpha. Uh, I'm sure there's fork oil for it. Alright, I appreciate it, Mr. James. I said I don't know how long my TikTok will last because I've already been restricted 4 times on it and had like 4 videos taken down on it. So I don't know how long it'll last, but I've been doing lives with Song Dog Harris and Trapper Billy and Chris, what's his name? Chris something, and Cattle Cutter, I think was the other one. Cattle Cutter. You got one. Have to go. Peace out, Cuba. Alright, Seymour. Appreciate you stopping in, man. Have a good night. You have a gunsmith shop, and Facebook is kicking my butt. Well, just in that little text that you sent right there, there's like 3 words that would get you kicked off of Facebook. Alright, Brian. We'll see you. Thanks for coming on tonight. Yeah, I get along a lot as far as getting restricted for stuff. I do a lot better on Facebook than I do TikTok. TikTok is horrible.
Is it the next time you have a violation, you're
Yeah.
banned?
And the next time I have a violation on TikTok, my account will be restricted to view only mode forever. Which means I can't comment, message, post, anything. I can just watch videos. That's all I can do. I appreciate it, Internet Veteran. It was professionally made, so I'm glad it looks professional.
Commercial.
Yeah.
She's awake.
Yeah, we're supposed to have fairly decent weather all week, and then next week they're talking about some more wintry weather coming in and some thunderstorms. Yeah, say that's the only reason why I got on TikTok was I knew there was a bunch of people on TikTok that didn't really get on anything else, and I didn't really know until like yesterday that there's a ton of people that have been on TikTok for like a year that don't have YouTube or Facebook, which is surprises me. It surprised me to know that people have TikTok but not Facebook. But I'm trying to get the name out more, and that's very expensive. I definitely put a lot of money into it last year on advertising and getting my name out. So hopefully, it'll start paying off here soon. The weather's good for maple sap harvesting. Yeah. Uh, I was reading some. I watched a thing on that a while back, harvesting syrup, and isn't it like the temperature like 40, 50 is like the best for that? Yeah, Internet Veteran, it's actually going to be on TV. It'll be on the Pursuit channel. That's one of the reasons why I put so much money into it, was that I'd have a professional commercial that I could use for the entirety of however long I want to, and it would get my name on TV, which I know there's a lot of people that don't do any social media that watch TV, so now I have Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I'll be on TV. We go to conventions. So yeah, I have Instagram. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with everything. The show that's
Really?
the show that is going to be having my commercial on. Supposed to be getting a few like magazine articles out of that too. Got a couple hunting contests coming up here. It's statewide, pays for heaviest male and heaviest female. Top price around 10,000. That's a lot of money for a coyote. Bruce, you've only been in business for a year. What do you do? Oh, never mind. You do the gunsmithing. Sorry, I'm retarded.
That's true.
Yeah, I opened my outdoor store in 2018 and was open for about a year and a half until I closed it and went all online. And then, was it January?
Last year?
Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere in the beginning, like the second week of January last year, is when I officially applied to have this name. So, I've been doing it for about 13 months now.
Bailey.
Yeah, I miss trapping, man. I really wish I was out there catching some coyotes. I'd even be happy catching raccoons right now. Commercial makes you want to buy something. Well, I'm glad that's what it was kind of designed for. Yeah, I definitely didn't put near that much money into it, but for a small guy like me, I put a lot of money into it. Just followed you on Instagram. I appreciate it. Mark Larson just uploaded the season is tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, I uploaded. I don't know, I can't remember anything anymore,
I
but
just had a notification one just uploaded.
Sunday or Monday, maybe it was yesterday, I uploaded the fox skinning video. That's kind of my final video of the trapping season. I'll have some more like how-to videos, some trap prep, but
You said how to skin a fox?
yeah,
Oh, that was 2 days ago.
2 days ago, so it'd have been
But
Sunday.
that's your commercial.
Hmm?
Did you put your commercial in the beginning?
Yeah, I put the commercial at the beginning of all my videos now. So instead of saying welcome to our channel, it's just a commercial now.
Let's see. It's
Scab, I really appreciate it, man.
2 days ago.
Yeah, the Pursuit channel is a pretty big deal, Herb. It's only going to play during the one show, but it'll play for all their episodes. It'll play for all their reruns. It'll be on their YouTube, all their social media. So, and then I get to share the commercial wherever, however I like. If there's another TV show that wants to use it, I can do that too. So it's kind of like why I really was sold on the idea was because I can use the commercial whenever, however. You're a Clinch Valley Firearm near Knoxville, Tennessee. You got 3 beavers, a coon, and 1 muskrat today, and then a porcupine. That's a pretty decent day. Your season will end. Your season will end at the end of March. Yeah, say our season ended January 31st. We can still trap water animals like beaver and stuff, but hopefully next month when they vote on the trapping season, they will extend it. Do I or have I looked into everything? I don't really have a commercial that plays on YouTube. What I have on YouTube is I've sponsored a bunch of channels. A bunch of smaller ones like Asher Bros Outdoors. I've sponsored them. I've done some sponsoring with Stags in the Wild with Greg Staggs, Biggs Time Trapping with Nick Biggs. I can't even name them all, but I've done a lot of uh, stuff with them. And then by far the biggest one and biggest helper ever is Trapper J. I mean, I've done a lot with him, but he's I do all I can for him. But I mean, he's done so much for me. It's crazy. One of these days, I'll be able to pay him back. PA. Alright, Eventual James. Thanks for stopping in and spending your break with us. Hope you have a good rest of your night at work, man. Yeah, Jay's awesome. Yeah, PA, sometimes they do weird with filtering the comments and stuff. Facebook's real bad at it. I already paid him back with a bench sweater. Yeah, I've sent him quite a few things, but man, he's done a ton for me. You know, when you have somebody like that, that's that well known and supported, um, you know, just having him spread my name is awesome. Just had Cat go by one of your sets. Looks like I barely missed him. Kevin, you got a, I'm guessing you have a cell cam on him.
Barely. That's enough.
Yeah, Trapper Jay's had a pretty rough weekend. Yeah, Bruce, there's a ton of people that I talk to now that if I never would have taken the time to talk with Trapper Jay and get to know him and do a lot of advertising and support with him, there's a lot of people now that I wouldn't have ever had the chance to talk to because of him. Pretty sure just about everybody in this chat is here because of Trapper J. I know Adventures with James is. I know Ottercat is. Scab. So, you know, I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat is from Trapper J. So, like I said, you know, I try my best to try to pay him back as much as I can because, I mean, he's helped me out a ton. I don't think he'll ever know how much he's helped me out.
Not your wife.
What?
She's helped you out a lot.
I can add you to the list. And that's what I'm saying, you know, about everybody in this chat. Had one kicked down, blogging last night, and got my bait. Yeah, Scab, it'll happen. Yeah, so I find Instagram to me is the hardest platform to get followers. Um, YouTube is fairly hard, but I think Instagram's the hardest. TikTok is by far the easiest. Um, First ever video you watched, Shopper J, was how to catch a crackhead. And sold on his channel. Yeah, I mention that to him all the time.
Come trap them down here by us.
Yeah, yeah, Bruce, I do my best to help everybody out I can, Um, when it comes to trapping, I'm still fairly new. I'm not one of the people that has, 10 years of trapping under my belt or 15 or 20. I've really only trapped for 2 years, uh, 2018, and this year was the only years I've ever trapped. So, like I said, I'm still fairly new to trapping. I know a lot of stuff up here in my head. Uh, I still have a lot of hands-on experience to learn, but I try to help everybody out I can, all the information I can. So I I have a good mind when it comes to remembering a lot of things. So like when I'm trying to learn something about trapping, I can remember that stuff forever. And then there's basic things that is an everyday thing that I can't remember to save my life. Yeah, some folks do take trapping naturally. Yeah, that's true. And there's some people that just trap for years and still have a hard time with it. And a lot of the times people want to say just because they ain't catching a lot of fur means that they're not as good as the next guy, but a lot of it has to do with, your area that you have to trap, the time. The time is a big one. I mean, a lot of people only have the time to run, 4 or 5 traps. So, and a lot of those people only have time to, a lot of those people put out traps Friday night after work and then have to pull them on Sunday. So, if they're catching animals through the weekend, they're doing really, really good. If you got a guy that's catching 100 coyotes, but he gets to trap for 3 months, and he gets to trap every day, all day, and run, 80, 90 sets, is he as good as the guy that caught, 8 coyotes that only trapped for 2 months and altogether like maybe 3 weeks in total and only ran 8 traps? I mean, which one of those guys do you think is better? And it probably doesn't have anything to do with them being better or not. It's just you can't always dismiss somebody just because they don't catch all the fur that somebody else does. You know, in my mind, I caught a lot of coyotes this year. I caught 17 coyotes. To some people that's nothing, and to some people that's mind blowing. There's a lot of people that catch 1 or 2 coyotes, but they might only be able to run 3 or 4 traps for 2 weeks of the whole year. So you got to look back. You got to look at your scenario of what people are facing. I don't know. It's hard to compare one person to the other. Yeah, terrain has a lot to do with it. Yeah, yeah, terrain like your area because I know there's here where I'm at there's a lot of coyotes here, but then there's other areas that have 10 times as many coyotes as we have, and then there's some areas or states that really don't have very many coyotes at all. There's some places that have way more bobcat than they do coyotes. You've tried trapping on and off for 10 years. This is the first season you've been able to put it together enough to connect. I've had better teacher this season than I've ever heard. Yeah, my thing is I didn't really have a teacher when I started trapping. Um, I didn't have anybody to get info from. Like I think I've said a couple times in my lives before, but there's a guy that's one of this good friend of mine and my brother's, and my brother was talking to me about trapping once, and he set the my brother asked him about how to trap, and so he took a trap out to his front yard and kind of showed my brother the simple basic how I put in a dirt hole, and then my brother showed me off of that pretty much that year. Well, that's the only training we had. You know, we didn't really know much of anything, and we didn't have very many traps, and we didn't keep numbers of what we caught. I know we caught close to 10 coyotes. I know I caught 2 bobcats and we caught 2 fox, maybe 3 fox. But a lot of the other stuff I don't really know. But uh, you know, I didn't really have a teacher. But the last 3 years or so since I've had my outdoor store, I've watched a lot more videos, and I've learned more in the last year just from talking to trappers and watching YouTube videos. I got the honor of watching a couple demos at conventions. I got to watch one of Kendall Obermeyer's demos at the Nebraska convention. Uh, I got to watch one of Cletus Richards' demos at the Missouri convention. Oh no, that wasn't the Missouri. That was the NTA. And then I got to watch some of Mark June's demo at the NTA. I was gonna watch all of it, but my daughter wasn't wanting us to watch it. So, you know, I pick up a little here and a little there. I've learned probably more from YouTube videos than I have anything. So, YouTube is a great thing for people to learn about trapping. I thought I was just in the comment. You think your YouTube's lagging in lives for some reason? Yeah. YouTube sometimes it lags. There's a lot of times when I get on lives, especially when I get onto Iowa Trappers Live, there's sometimes, you know, the comments will be 20 minutes away from what the video is showing me, and I'll have to completely restart my phone and then get back on. To put up numbers, it takes high population of animals and hard ass work, one without the other. That's definitely true, Otter Cat. You know, I caught a pretty decent amount of fur this year, and I put a lot of time into it. You know, my average day, my short day was about 3 hours. My long days, there was a couple days I went from 9:30 to 4. You know, putting sets out, looking for sign, stuff like that. And that's not even including, you know, the skinning part. There's many times that I was skinning for, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours. So it's definitely takes a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of commitment, and it's definitely something you gotta have a heart for. You haven't had a catch since like January 27th, PA. What's your weather like, and how many sets are you running? Bruce, I appreciate it. Bruce, do you watch any of Coon Creek? Coon Creek has a ton and a ton, and I mean a ton, of trapping videos, lots of information. He's had his YouTube channel for like 11 years. He's got hundreds of videos on his. They catch 30 plus dogs a year but refuse to trap where you trap. What's the reason for that, Scab? You just closed and reloaded live. Seeing your comments 5 minutes later. Well, PA, I can tell you this comment just popped up at 10:59. It says, yeah, I'm thinking of putting shingles over my trap bed because we're getting... See, I read that comment like, I want to say probably 10, 15 minutes ago. You were talking about shingles on your traps because of the freezing rain.
If he went out and came back in, his comments show back up, like.
I don't know. He gets behind on cage sometimes. Yeah, there's I don't know, there's coyotes everywhere, and I wish there was more trappers than there are, honestly, because there needs to be a lot more people that are taking animals and stuff. Just because the populations get so high sometimes, especially in some areas, especially like raccoons and stuff, and people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand how out of control those populations can be sometimes. You trap in the woods and they trap farms too. Yeah, trapping in the woods is definitely a different take to coyote trapping. I like trapping the fields. I can get in the roadways. I catch almost all my dogs on 2-track roads going through fields or fence rows. You've watched him, and he is a great trapper, but his voice pitch is a little high for me. Yeah, and that's like there's quite a few good channels. Trapper Jay's probably the one. Trapper Jay's the one I watch the most for sure. I watch a lot of Coon Creek. I do watch a lot of his stuff. The coyotes still around your set drive me crazy. That one you just made, you're seeing them now. Yeah, PA. But the comment about the shingles and stuff, I seen that comment a long time ago. Kevin, I had a friend that had a cell camera out, and he had a coyote that walked in front of it, and he grabbed a gun and he snuck down there and got about 200 yards from his camera and called the coyote in and shot it. Arthur Cat is getting to you now. Scab, go shoot him. Shoot him. You gotta shoot him. And that would, what's his name? Laundry, Troy Laundry. You gotta shoot him. You gotta shoot him. You got around 20 sets out right now around your house, only at the moment because snow. But ever since my neighbor's dog tore up the trap, stuff quit moving, except one day I had tracks everywhere, but none tonight.
Bailey.
Yeah, PA, what I would recommend if you have the extra traps, when you have your dirt hole, I would go about, say 18 to 24 inches kind of behind your trap, about 2 foot, and put in a blind set. I did that a couple times this year and it paid off for me. So you got your dirt hole and your trap here, and then go, about 8 o'clock, about 2 foot, go about 8 o'clock behind that set, put another set, and a lot of times you'll catch the animal in that set. If you had 2 hands, both legs, you'd give it a try. Had 7 out of 10 sets out back that had tracks walk right up to them, but would not commit. Yeah, say if you have some extra traps, I'd definitely put out some blind sets, about 18 to 24 inches behind them. Get some hand grenades. Excuses. Sheesh. That. Got a 100-pound Rottweiler about a week ago, and a number 3 offset trap was 300 yards from any house and on a 140 acre property. Yeah, I'd say the dogs that I caught this year, uh,
More.
they were about 2 miles from any houses. And triple MT don't think wheelchair will run them down.
I forgot I read my drawers.
What was that?
Tea.
Number 3 Bridget 2 coil. Well, Scab, whenever you get that my package in, let me know how you like that jar. Put a V8 in it, you know you want to. Yeah, they got those chairs that have the tracks on them. I think they're like $25,000-$30,000.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm talking about the beaver lure. I was looking for the Blakely's beaver lure. I did some today, but this is the sweet beaver. But these are the new jars. Uh, Only a couple people have got any of my lures in the new jars yet. My Highway 90 Roadkill was the first one to go in these jars. I'm liking them. They're a little fatter. A little shorter, a little fatter. But they're plastic. I don't have to worry about them breaking either. I was funny though. I think you remember who I was because I knew the owner was about a half mile from me. These release. My hands, there's nothing. Well, that's good, PA. Can't. Yeah, I don't. I don't think I'll be able to afford one of those chairs for about 7 lifetimes. Look at that Chevy tattoo. Oh yeah, that one. You know what's funny about that? So I am a Chevy guy, that's for sure. But when I got that tattoo, I was driving a Dodge Dakota, believe it or not. And had a lot of people ask me why I had a Chevy tattoo when I drove a Dodge. Well, I told them that I was a Chevy guy, but I was 18 and needed a vehicle, and that's the one that I could get at the time, so I got it. And I actually really, really, really liked that truck. But I drove it for about 8 months, not even a year, and I traded it in for a Silverado. And I drove that truck for like 6 years.
Until last year.
Yeah. And then I let my brother drive it, and then he ended up buying it from me, and I went and bought me a Dodge Cummins. So now I'm back in a Dodge. Yeah, I'm a Chevy guy, but I'm also a Cummins guy. Love the Cummins motor. Ooh, you're special, laugh aloud. Yeah, you're special, Scab, that's for sure. I think that's kind of what we were saying last time. You know, you're an island boy. See, it's one of those things with these jars. I don't know if people are gonna like them or not. I like them because they're the opening is bigger, they're fatter.
so it'd be easier to get into. I like the lids too. You don't have to worry about the lids rusting up. They're all clear. Even the lid's clear. Plastic, so you don't have to worry about it breaking. Well, you don't have to worry about it breaking like glass. I guess it could still crack, but... And I know they're not going to leak because when I first got them in, I filled one with water and I let it set for a couple hours. I turned it upside down, let it sit, turned it on its side, let it sit. Then I threw it across the house a couple times and it never leaked anything, so I know they're good there. Yeah, mine. I finally got my wife into a Chevy. But yeah, I got the Cummins and I love the Cummins. Shorter and fatter, kind of like you. Yeah, like I said, it might be shorter and fatter, but it's easier to handle now. That's kind of what that joke was meant for. Say I have quite a few tattoos, but I have the trap tattoo here. Bridger Douglas. Someone just said that's what she said. But I have the Bridger Douglas trap with the chain that goes all the way down to my arm, basically down to my wrist with the anchor. That's the day my daughter was born, June 4th. And then her name and the years on the trap. And then I got the fishing reel here, which is a Hall. He's a guy that I went to church with. It was kind of like my grandpa. Spent a lot of time with him, a lot of helping him, and he passed away a few years ago. That was his last name. So I got that tattoo. And then I just got this one not too long ago with crosses, 1 Corinthians. Of course, this was one of the first bigger tattoos I ever had. It was a rebel flag deer skull with the broadheads. That was I think that was the second or third tattoo I ever had.
What was your second? No, that was your third.
And then this one was my sister, Tanya, and my niece, Miranda. They died in a car wreck in 98. So that's what this tattoo is. And I got one on each leg. And of course, I got the ribbon here from my dad. He had prostate cancer twice. And my name here that'll eventually be covered up. I got a lot of tattoos, so I know a lot of people don't agree with tattoos or whatever, but I got a lot of them.
Will you step this way and give me a kiss?
JB does quality control in his jar. I do. I try, I'm not going to say I, threw the jar with all my might, but I gave it a pretty good toss, and it didn't crack or leak, so. I mean, all I can say is if you get one of these and you throw it against the wall as hard as you can and it breaks, that's kind of your own fault.
Well, your daughter played with it too.
One Chevy and Ford, got a 78 GMC Sierra Classic 4x4, and no one Silverado. Huh?
I'll be asleep.
You've had a 2-wheel drive, 7.3, power stroke, been running it for 10 years. Nothing but change oil, air filter, head clutch. Yeah, I got a super good deal on my Cummins. Only paid $10,000 for it. So, and it's, $16,000 truck. And then my brother had one just like it that he had totaled. So, I ended up doing some partial trading on my truck, the Silverado, with that truck. So I have a truck with a brand new transmission in it. So if I ever need a transmission for my truck, I got a brand new one I can put in it. And it's got a brand new set of tires. One of them was ruined in the wreck, but. And then, but my truck's having some battery issues right now, so I haven't been able to drive it for about a month or so. I'm trying to let it warm up so my brother can look at it and really see what's wrong with it.
think maybe there's a ground problem or a brain problem or ECM problem. So either it's going to be a loose wire that we can just move and fix, or it's going to be something that, costs a couple $1,000s. 2,000 power stroke, 300,000 miles when you got it, well over 400 now. Yeah, my Cummins has 262,000, I think. Yeah, we've cleaned the ground connections. Basically, it's the batteries are not charging. It's not the alternator. It's not the battery cables. Been through that. But yeah, basically, the batteries are not charging, and once you start the truck, they still don't charge. You take your foot off the gas, the truck just dies and it won't start back up. So, I was having some battery problems before, and we were pretty sure it was the grid heater, but it was never a big problem, and we never got around to looking at it. We thought the grid heater was clogged up, but now the truck won't hardly run at all now. So it'll still drive. You just have to constantly have the throttle down. If you let go of the throttle, the truck will die and it won't start back up because the battery's dead. Yeah, one thing we did find out about my truck is my brother's a diesel mechanic. He's actually a Cummins mechanic, which is, awesome for me. But he said that, what is it? The batteries are supposed to have, I think he said 95 cranking units, and one of them only has 65. So he thinks that might be the problem. That one of the batteries is too small. Well, he knows the one battery is too small, but we're just waiting for it to warm up so we can have a chance to look at it. Because it's been cold as a mofo, and he didn't want to climb under the truck with it being packed full of ice and snow underneath it, and concrete floor being 0 degrees. Yeah, you don't have two alternators. Yes, yeah, I know. See, I'm not a huge Dodge guy, but I'm a huge Cummins guy. If things were the way it could be, I would have the 5.9 in a Chevy truck. But if I could build my own truck, I'd have a 5.9 Cummins motor, an Allison transmission, and I'd be happy. I can say with the Dodge, I do like the cab. I like the size of the cab. Alright, Bruce, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. It's a diesel. Herb, it's a diesel truck. It's a 5.9 Cummins. It's a 2005 5.9 Cummins. He's in a bad motorcycle wreck. That sucks, Kevin. Yeah, I love I love my truck. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Yeah, so it don't have two alternators. It's a 3/4 ton, 05. If I could change one thing about my truck, it'd be what my brother's was. My brother's was an 06 Mega Cab. I wish mine was Mega Cab, but it's not. Well, that my brother's was a single wheel 1 ton. Mine's a 3/4 ton. A blown up 400 small block in it now. Old 83 square body. Yeah, I lucked out because there's a lot of parts on that truck of my brother's, but there's also a lot of stuff in the front end that just ain't no good anymore. Because of the wreck, it's all, destroyed. Yeah. So I'm definitely a huge Cummins fan. Awesome motors. Throttle button. Say my brother's a diesel mechanic and he's hooked it up to his reader a couple times and he's thinking that it's either and he said everything tells him it's an ECM problem, but in his mind, like his gut tells him it's not, but all the problems tell him it is. But he don't think that it's an ECM problem because he said that the ECM looks like it's new. So he's thinking that there's a grounding issue. So we'll see. I know I'll eventually get it fixed, hopefully sooner than later, because I miss driving it. I haven't drove that truck in almost a month. Actually, it's been about a month. And like I don't know if we're gonna get to go to any of the conventions this year. I know we're gonna go to the Missouri one just because it's so close to the house. But there's a bunch of them I was wanting to go to, like Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, a whole bunch of them I was planning on going to, but I don't think I'm gonna have the money to go to any of them this year. And I gotta say, I don't know a whole lot about diesels. That's my brother's specialty. My specialty is trapping. He can fix my truck all day long, and I can trap all his predators all day long. So, but brother said he's gonna get back into trapping next year, so we'll see. All right, Otter Cat. Thanks for stopping in, man. You have a good night. You've had a 7.3 on your second 6.0. So you like the Ford scabs, ever saying? You like the Ford Power Stroke? It's almost 11:30. And I don't know if I've said it yet or not, but these new jars that I switched to, these are also like 1.2 ounce jars. Instead of 1 ounce jars, they're like 1.2 ounce. So you're getting almost a quarter as much for the same price. Yeah, when it comes to Power Strokes, the thing I'll never forget is my brother used to work at the Chrysler dealership, Chrysler Ford dealership. And my brother was the Dodge diesel mechanic. And there was a guy, Jonathan, he was the Power Stroke Ford diesel mechanic. And people would always ask Jonathan, say, if you are a Ford mechanic and you work on Fords, why do you drive a Dodge Cummins? He said, because I work on what breaks and I drive what runs. And ever since my brother told me that, I just laugh every time I think about it. I work on what breaks and I drive what runs. And it's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Hey, Brian. The only thing you missed was a little bit of a debate on diesel trucks. Spun you off the road down into a tree. Yeah, Kevin, it's 11:30 here, but I ain't got no traps to check. That's our trapping season's over. I got a couple packages I gotta take tomorrow, a couple lures I gotta make. So I'll have, quite a busy day tomorrow. Somewhat, got church tomorrow evening, so we'll see you, Kevin. Thanks for stopping in. Brian, Ford. Alright, BA. Yeah. This is as Adventures with James was talking about earlier, this is a, new, I guess you call it a lure that I'm doing. It's a fish attractant spray for your baits. I've been working on this one. Finally got it done today, and got a few people lined up that are going to test it for me, try it out. A couple other people that are going to try it out anyways. Nothing wrong with the Cummins motors. The shipping crate they come in sucks though. I know, I've never seen a shipping crate of anything. Oh, and also my Tesla that I used for all those coyotes the last week of season. I'm going to be making more of that tomorrow, so I'll probably have it up on the Facebook and website. I wouldn't say soon, but maybe in the next couple weeks. Depends on when I get it made. Still got to get a name for it and get it bottled up and whatnot. What's the lure for? This one? It's a fish attractant spray to spray on your baits, whether it be, your plastics, your hard baits, crankbaits, whatever, spinners. So, got a couple people going to test it out here in the next couple months, so we'll see. You can see all the ingredients floating around in there. I don't know how well that shows up, but just relaxing. It's pretty much what I've been doing. I was making lures for most of the day, so now it's kind of just relax. I've been, I've been doing live videos for almost 6 hours now, but that's just part of it. Helping people out, sharing information that I know, and trying to get my name out. That's what it's all about. So Daughter wants to go dump carcasses here in a bit. What are my plans for it? Uh, I'm gonna be making some. I keep saying tomorrow, but I don't know if it'll happen tomorrow. But here soon, I'll be making more and getting it bottled up, and I'll have it available on the Facebook and website. Um, Basically, I'd had a couple people test it for me, and I never heard back from them. Um, so I ended up using it myself, and the first day I put it out was, I think it was I think it was Sunday, if I remember right. Not the last Sunday of season, but the one before. And I ended up catching, I'm saying the last, pretty much I only had it out for a week, and I ended up catching 5 coyotes and a fox on it in a week. And on the fox, that's all I had. I had made that because where my trap was all rock. It was like all gravel rock, and I couldn't really use any dirt or anything to bed my trap, so I just had rock covering my trap, literally. Uh, and then you couldn't really make a bait hole, so I'd put some beaver tail oil down, just a tad bit. Well, they had been out for 3 weeks or so, and I ain't caught nothing. It had snowed twice, rained a bunch, and I never rebaited or lured them. Well, then I went and put some of that test lure out on. I had 2 sets, and I went and put it out on both sets. And 2 days later, I had that fox. So I'd had the beaver tail oil there. That was, there was still some of it there through all the weather and stuff, but not a whole lot. But then I put that test lure out and caught a fox 2 days later. And then let's see, there was the set down here at my mom's. That's all I had in the bait hole was that Tesla, and I caught 2 coyotes. The first time I had the Deadly Howie 71 Predator bait and the Tesla, and I caught a coyote. And then the second time I just put the Tesla out again and caught a coyote. And I think I ended up with 5 coyotes and 1 fox on that Tesla in the last week. The scab, I would say a little bit of both. It's a mix. It's kind of a all in all kind of thing. Basically, the way I used it is you can use the new lure I'm coming out with. You can use it with bait if you want, but you don't need to because it has your gland lure, your long call lure. It has basically your bait. It has everything in it. So basically, what I was doing is I was putting in my 2-inch dirt hole, and then I would just squirt my Tesla lure all over the top of that hole. When the lure comes out, you give me some. Maybe it'll help me not get skunked. It should. I mean, I did really well with it. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna help everybody everywhere, but it definitely worked super well for me. It's all in one. Yeah, it's an all-in-one scab, and it's not something that stinks. I know a lot of the baits and stuff that people are coming out with nowadays stink really bad. This don't stink really at all. It's almost got like a sweeter smell to it. and it's a liquid lure, so you know it soaks into the ground, into your dirt hole, so it's it's gonna work really, really, really well. Uh, you know, I'm kind of surprised at how well it works for me, honestly. Yeah, I caught some pretty good coyotes this year. I caught at least two coyotes that were right about the 30-pound mark, and then I caught the one coyote that was just a hair under 35. Uh, and I'm getting that coyote tan, and I'm keeping it. But I got two coyotes that I'm getting tanned this year that I'm gonna keep. At the beginning of the year, I caught the coyote double. I don't know how many of you guys have seen that video, but I caught a double on coyotes, and the one that I got out of that, I had it tanned, and I'm not sure when I'm going to get it back, but I'm going to have the first fox I caught tanned, the first fox I caught this year. I'm getting it tanned, two coyotes, and a bobcat, and then I have a beaver that I'm probably going to get or a beaver that I'm probably going to get tanned. JB's. Yes, Gab, that's funny because there's a couple times I've been talking to Trapper Jay about his long call lure, and we was talking about Essence one day and buying it and how much it is and stuff like that. And I told him, I said, you know what we need to do? I said we just need to open up a skunk farm. I said we can call it J&J's Old Farm. Yeah, I'll have that lure available in the next, hopefully as soon as possible. I'm hoping I can get some more made tomorrow. Uh, so I don't really want to post it until I have a little bit. So I got at least a little bit stocked up. And the lure, it really don't take a whole lot. And it's gonna come in an 8-ounce bottle. So kind of like the bottles that you get your urine in. Those are 16-ounce bottles. The lure is gonna be in an 8-ounce bottle. It's just like those bottles. I'm not real sure what the pricing is gonna be yet. I haven't decided on that. I gotta really figure it out and see what it costs and everything to make. At first, I was going to do 16-ounce bottles, but I don't know. The stuff that's in it is very expensive to get, I should say, and I don't know if I'd be able to have a decent enough price on a 16-ounce bottle. So I decided to do 8-ounce bottles. Yeah, this is the newest thing. Fish attractant spray. And it's it's another thing. It don't stink. It's actually kind of sweet smelling. It's got like a sweet smell that will bite you. If that makes sense. All right, Brian. We'll see you. Hey, PA. You back? I don't know how many of you guys that are on here, if any, have ever used any of my coon syrups yet. This is just two of them. But the cost of making these, surprisingly enough, actually went down a little bit. So here soon, I'm actually going to be lowering the prices on these. Not real sure what to yet, but the prices will be going down on them. On my Coon syrups. This is an 8-ounce bottle. Also have the 2.5-ounce bottles. This stuff just kind of smells like syrup. You know, that was my main goal when I got into making my own baits and lures. Was to be able to offer products that were cheaper than anywhere else. Alright, PA, sounds good. I got a bunch of Trapper J stuff to use this year, and I used a lot of it, but when I used it, I was on that farm that I wasn't catching anything on that farm. You know, the only thing I caught, I caught one skunk, one possum, and like 20 to 25 raccoons. That's all I caught on that place. I do not use shock springs, Herb. I know there's a few states that they have to use the shock springs on their traps. I myself don't really, I don't know. Yes, I was saying, you know, there's some states where you have to have a shock spring. But I've heard a couple people talk about them, and I've thought about it. I've never used any personally, but in my mind, the shock spring doesn't really work as the purpose it should. I think it should say. Because the whole purpose of the shock spring is so, like, when the animal is pulling on the trap, it's kind of like a bungee where they're not pulling on something hard. Well, again, that's kind of a fighting thing because when, you know, if you're trying to pull something, like if you have a hold of something, you're trying to pull it and it's not moving, you keep pulling, eventually you're going to give up and you're just going to say, whatever, it's not coming. But if you're pulling and there's a give, you keep feeling that give, you're just going to keep pulling because it feels like it's coming. And I think that's kind of how the shock springs work with, you know, coyotes and stuff. Nothing against them. I just, in my eyes, and I've heard people talk, Kendall Omar in his demo, he talked about that big time, shock springs. And he said the same thing, that he sees that as the shock spring goes in and out like this, it allows that chain to tighten and get loose so that coyote or whatever it is constantly feeling a give. So when he pulls, he feels it give a little, and then it gives a little, and then it gives a little. So he's just going to keep on fighting and pulling and pulling and pulling. So, again, I've never used them. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've heard a couple people talk about it. I know there's a few states that you have to use them. There's no choice. Yeah, coyotes can definitely be hard on your stuff. From shocking the levers open on the traps. I don't even see how that's possible. There's so many traps nowadays that you have to put so much like power into them. Like those Duke 650s. When you catch something, I mean the lockup that is on them springs. A lot of the times I have to step on the springs to pop them loose from the lockup, and then I can take the trap off the animal. But most of the time, the lockup is so strong that, I mean, you got to step on it. You got to hit it with a hammer to get it to unlock. So I don't know how they could just open the levers by pulling on it. I have heard some stories about animals being able to pull out of a trap because it's side swiveled instead of center swivel. But I've never heard about getting this shocking the levers open. Yeah, PA. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up doing the same here. Is getting my nuisance license so I can trap coyotes all year. And there's a lot of people around here that have like there's a village beside me called Bella Vista, and it's like a retirement town basically. But there's lots and lots and lots of houses, and lots and lots and lots of hollers and woods, and there's foxes like crazy. And I've had people all the time asking me if I can trap the fox or how to trap the fox, whatever. So I might be checking in on that too. So not really to make money, but to be able to trap in different times of the year. Think about that yourself, yeah. What's funny is here in Missouri, where I live, you don't have to have a nuisance license. All you got to do is let the conservation department list your name and phone number on their website and in all their flyers and stuff as a nuisance trapper. So if people have a problem with an animal, they can call you. So, which is surprising because I thought you had to take a class and stuff for it, but I did some research and talked to some people, and in Missouri you don't have to. You just have to let the conservation department list you as a nuisance trapper. Yeah. But yeah, now that my trapping season's over, of course I won't have any more trapline videos on the YouTube to post. But I'm still gonna have a few how-to videos, trap prep videos. Uh, I'm gonna do some videos just about me and kind of things that I do. Uh, we might do a couple videos where we're working on my truck. Might do a couple videos of like cast iron cooking, stuff like that. So hopefully we'll get to go fishing some this summer and have videos on that. Yeah, PA. It's definitely something I would check on. Yeah, I'm gonna do some product videos. Uh, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a couple. I've had the idea I'm gonna do a couple videos where I'm talking about my baits and lures. Kind of explaining how what all ones I have, what they're used for, uh, what time of year, what situations I'd use them, stuff like that. Uh, so you can go mouse trapping in the off season. Yeah, I'm still not um, a bit like I'm still not a well-known name yet, so I still got to get my name out there. So, like with this lure, most trappers, probably the biggest percentage of trappers, don't know what this is. They don't know who that is. They don't know who I am. So I'm gonna do some videos on my baits and lures and stuff like that. Yeah, that's just how some people are. Yeah, there's all the time there's trolls. All right, Scab, I appreciate it. Say anybody like I've said in one of my videos or a couple of them, uh, everything helps. People don't understand how much everything helps. Uh, Even if you buy one of my lures and use it, that helps me. If you tell one of your friends about one of my lures and they use it, that helps me. If you share one of my Facebook posts, that helps. YouTube video, that helps. If you wear one of my hats or shirts or something in public, that helps. Everything helps a ton, and I don't think a lot of people really realize how much that does help and how much it means to me. So, I mean, everything helps. So, and also, I don't know how many people actually know. I posted on our Facebook a couple times, and we had them at a couple conventions. But this is a company, Motivated Fishing. He makes plastic fishing baits, mostly bass fishing, and he does make some like jig heads and hooks and stuff like that. But he's kind of local to me. He's only about 2 hours away. But when I had my outdoor store, I sold a lot of his stuff. And then towards, say, the end of summer last year, I got a hold of him about carrying his stuff again. And I used to have a couple custom colors when I had the store. And so I had those made again. And this is one of them. It's a smoked copper special. It's like gray with copper flakes in it. And then also have a rainbow, which is clear with like red, green, and blue flakes in it. But these are the Blakely's custom baits. So these are pretty cool too. And then, as I said, we have the new fishing attractant that's being tested right now. So always trying to bring in new products and try stuff that works. This guy he's had lots and lots and lots of success, and even since I carried his stuff when I had my outdoor store to now, he's grown like 3 times the size company that he was before. So
It's definitely high quality baits and stuff. So if you know anybody that bass fishes a lot, uh, I got plastics on the website, all kinds of stuff. We got let's say we got creature baits, stick baits, Ned baits, minnow bait, Chad baits, all kinds of stuff on there. So, there's a lot of people that don't know that I have any fishing stuff. Yeah, see, we have a lot of tournaments here in my area. We have Beaver Lake, Grand Lake. So the what is it? I don't know, the Professional Fishing League or whatever you want to call it. They have a couple tournaments here. We have the Crappie Masters. They're here. Uh, some of the I have a friend that does some kayak bass fishing tournaments. They do a lot of their tournaments here. So there's quite a few. Actually, I have a friend that is a professional fisher for uh, what league or what is it? I'm trying to think. I can't remember what the name of the fishing tournament is, but Bassmasters maybe. I don't know, but he's a basically he's a fisher for express boats and big bite baits. But there's a lot of that here. There's a lot of big fishermen here. Often the new small guy, because really all the trap supply stores have the same thing. And product wise as everyone else. The only difference might be the price by $1 or $2. Yeah, I fully agree with that. That's why I was talking to my wife. We did a bunch of conventions last year. And I took a lot of everything to the conventions, tools, traps, wax, dye, baits, all kinds of stuff. And I told her, I said, you know what, I don't think this year I'm going to do that because every convention we went to, even the smaller ones, there was other trap suppliers there that are much bigger than me that have a whole lot more to offer. So I said, I don't think I'm going to do that if we go to any conventions this year. I think mostly I'm just going to sell my name brand stuff, the stuff that I have that nobody else has. So, like, my name brand lures, the fishing baits that nobody else has. I carry a bunch of baits and lures that, you can't get really anywhere else. Like, JD Purdum's baits. I'm the only person that carries his baits. Billingsley brand. There's not very many people that carries Billingsley. There's not very many people that carry Wolfen brand. Cash River. So there's a lot of baits and lures and stuff that I carry that really nobody else does. So stuff like that, I'll have. But yeah, when I go to the conventions this year, I don't think I'm going to be taking, traps and tools, and because everybody has traps and tools. When it comes to that, you really are just talking about price differences. And when it comes to a lot of the trapping supplies, there's really not a whole lot of money to be made in it, so there's not really a whole lot of wiggle room. So, like me trying to compete with F&T prices and Minnesota prices is really, really hard sometimes, especially when it comes to traps. We have tons of tournaments here: freshwater, saltwater, deep sea. See, we don't have any like deep sea stuff because I'm in Missouri, but we have a lot of big lakes that they have a lot of tournaments at. So.
And also like Cook's uh, Cook's Deer Scents. I carry his deer urines, and he has some scent sticks that are all 100% urine. His scent sticks are made 100% urine, so I carry that too. I know a lot of people probably don't know that either, and I try to carry things that other suppliers won't have, because when you're talking about MB traps, Bridger traps, Dunlap lures, stuff like that, it's all good stuff, but I mean everybody carries it, so I mean you really have to be competitive on your pricing to sell any of it. It's not the fact that the pricing on this is jacked way up and I'm making a killing on it. It's just I offer something here that nobody else does, or not very many others do. Yeah. See, we don't get enough ice here to have ice fishing. Nothing here freezes over. Alright, Scab. Good night, man. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head out too. It's just hit midnight, 12:02, so I think I'm gonna head out for the night. Yeah, 1 a.m. It's 12 here. But anyways, guys, thanks for hopping on and chatting with me tonight. Haven't done a live in a couple days. You really notice how much of the trappers that I follow on Facebook and YouTube really push to buy things from the little guy. Yeah. Um, one thing I've noticed big time, I'm not trying to talk up myself or pat myself on the back or anything like that, but when I look at a lot of the bigger trapping companies, or even the middle grade ones, I guess you could say, I don't really see them uh, getting out and helping the trapping industry a ton. I don't see them donating a lot of stuff to help. I mean, a lot of them do, like Funky, he donates a lot of stuff to help kids and stuff like that, but there's a lot of them that just don't really give back to the trapping industry and the trapping family. And that's one thing I've always tried to do real hard, is to give back as much as I can. There is 5 or 6 different small events that I donated a lot of stuff to last year. Uh, Nick Biggs, I know a lot of you guys know him. I donated a lot of stuff, a lot of baits and lures to his event that he had. So I try to give back as much as I can, especially when you're talking about the like trapping clinics or stuff like that. So, because I mean that's why I do it. I'm here to help everybody. I'm here to give back. So as long as I'm still in business, I'm going to be giving back as much as I can. So and that's not something I really see the bigger companies doing. It's usually the smaller companies and some of the mid-range companies, but I mean the bigger companies, you don't really see them donating stuff to the smaller, the smaller trapping events or whatever. You don't see that, and it's kind of disappointing in a way, I guess you could say, that they're the people that are, they're a huge company that's making lots of money, and the ones that are barely getting by are the ones that are donating all this stuff to smaller events and giving back to the trapping world and whatnot. So I definitely support uh, buying from the smaller companies, because even like when you buy from me, or you buy from Indian Trail or Iron Trails or anything like that, you're supporting the bigger guys already. If you buy from me, you're supporting Minnesota, you're supporting Duke, you're supporting all them people by buying from me. So, and it's not like if you buy from me, you're not supporting those companies anymore. You are, because I get my stuff from those companies.
You know, there's a lot of trapping suppliers that get their stuff from F&T. So when you buy from the smaller guy, you're supporting the bigger guy too. So that's just my opinion. I know when it comes to buying trapping supplies, a lot of people come down to the shipping. And the shipping is one thing that I definitely, it's almost impossible to have a good deal on shipping because it's so expensive. There's so many orders I send out that are, $70, $80 to ship. You know, I lose money on those orders. So it's hard to, I get people all the time wanting me to offer free shipping. Well, if I offered free shipping, I would be out of business in no time. So that's just how it is. I definitely say support the smaller companies because when you support the smaller companies, you support uh, your bigger companies. At the same time, you support your local trappers. You support your state trapping committees and whatnot. So I would definitely say buy most of everything from smaller companies. But anyway, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming on and chatting with me tonight. Hope everybody has a great night. And anybody that has traps out, hope you catch a lot of fur in the morning. And thank you, guys.